We are here on this very earth to love and to be loved.
For those who know me really well, one of the first things that you really know about me is that I want to be a psychologist. And I find really all kinds of sciences really interesting, but I don't think there's really one more intriguing or relevant than what goes on in your own mind. And as a result, I am often one to kind of pick your brain when I first meet you. I really want to find out what makes you who you are, and I wholly believe that there's no more defining factor to a person than their motivation. And that's really because it encompasses everything that is important and core to a person. So on that note, here are a few things that definitely inspire me, and I think inspire a lot of people each and every day to really do their best. I've been truly blessed with having the mind and the life that I do. And although that kind of sounds cocky on the surface, allow me to explain. I've been born with a mind really free of things like depression or any other sort of disorder or syndrome. And I've been born with a passionate intellectual personality and a perspective that I don't go a single day without being grateful for. I genuinely get up almost every day with a smile on my face and a feeling of actual excitement, because I know that each day has the potential to be a fantastic one, and I have the ability to really make it count. I believe that film and music have a really beautiful chemistry, and it's a really mutually strengthening bond. And most ideas for film that I've had and are currently floating around, and any that I've created really thus far, have all sprung from that nurturing seed of music. And music, it elevates and unifies people, and it really inspires every creative cell within a person. And though I'm far from a musician, that does not even come close to diminishing my profound appreciation for music. We have made a ton of progress in the world. Just around 100 years ago, the life expectancy in America was about 47 years old. Only 8% of homes had a bathtub. Only 6% of Americans had graduated from high school. The average individual income was just $800 a year, and Henry Ford had just patented the assembly line. And women were still marching for voting rights in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm obviously not saying the world is perfect now. It's far from it. But look at the progress we've made just in the last 100 years in this country alone. The new opportunities we've created from this exponential technological growth, we can only assume that trend will continue onwards. And with all of that in front of us, there's really no way, no reason, and no justification to sit here and deny that we could know more. We can always improve upon ourselves. And that fact is enough to get me out of bed in the morning. My family is a huge inspiration for me, and it's very cliche, I know, but I can't tell you how often I will see dysfunctional and broken families, and every time that happens, it makes me incredibly grateful for my own. My family is extremely loving and supportive and has provided more for me than I could really ever ask for. They're always there when I need them to be, and like every family we fight, but we never let it truly get to us or break us apart. And if, despite all that support, if I chose not to take advantage of the opportunities and the resources that I have at my fingertips, then I've done them wrong, and ultimately I've done myself a disservice. One of the things I've been told a lot over my life is that I have a lot of potential, and I've only really been able to explore this potential over the last year or so. A lot of great people have entered my life this year and have been constant reminders and supporters of my own potential as a person. I cannot really understate how important this has been to my year. Not only has it given me a lot of drive to do what I love and to succeed in doing that and not to waste what I have. But above all, it's done me the tremendous favor of preparedness. One of the things that my peers are struggling the most with right now is the future and being nervous about preparing for it and being afraid of what is to come. And, you know, of course I'm nervous about the future, but I can honestly say that that is overwhelmed by being truly excited and happy and eager to begin a new chapter of my life, even if I don't know exactly what that holds. There are going to be tons of opportunities and lessons to be learned throughout the rest of my life, and I can't thank friends like Ty and Ben and adults like Mr. Blair and my parents for showing me that this year. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I want to be a psychologist. I've always had a passion for the sciences, as anyone who really knows me can tell you. And although often ridiculed in the scientific community, I believe psychology to be one of the most interesting and relevant topics today. Now, I've only been alive once. I've only experienced what these 16 years have really allowed me to. But I do sense a tide of good change when I ask my peers, what do you want to be when you grow up? And almost all of the time, even if they don't know exactly what yet, they tell me that they want to help. They want to help people, they want to help animals, they want to help the environment, whatever. They want to help and aid our society and our world. And I really empathize with that. And my position is taken in psychology. I have a firm belief that if we took mental health as seriously as physical health, we would be living in a much better world today. So ultimately, I just want to help out in whatever way I can, whether that's on a small scale, whether I can change one person's life or make some kind of breakthrough. I really think I have a place in psychology. Now, I've talked a lot about psychology thus far, but that really only encompasses about 50% of my core passions. The other 50% can be found right here on YouTube. Little life story. I first got into film when I was 6 or 7 years old, and YouTube itself was first gaining popularity. I wasn't even really allowed to be on the site, but I saw all this funny and inspiring content, and I just thought, wow, I want to do that. For a good 6 or 7 years, I taught myself how to use iMovie, and with a webcam and occasionally a point-and-shoot camera, I used to create these little home videos. Then I took a break for a couple years. I just kind of lost the spark for it. It wasn't until I got assigned a project sophomore year that spark really got ignited again. The project was really dumb. It was just a bunch of us guys joking around, but it was enough to ignite it, and I haven't stopped since. I've spent the last year or so really trying to find the means and the resources to explore what I can do with film, and I can honestly say it's never been better than it is right now. Who knows if I continue this past high school or even into career, but no matter what happens, I've always had one goal in mind with film, and that is to get people thinking. I want to inspire and motivate my audience and make them feel something. As small as that audience may be, I want to give them that same feeling just like I felt when I first found my inspiration on YouTube. I wholeheartedly believe that if you can inspire a generation through any means, a lot of progress can be made. And we definitely live in an era where video as a medium is incredibly accessible and really pivotal to our day-to-day life and our society. And I just hope to be a part of that. I don't think I'll ever forget this one exchange that I had in my AP Lang class with a good friend of mine, Jackson. I was brainstorming some questions because I was going to interview someone right after school. And I turned and I asked him, Jackson, would you rather be hated or forgotten? Without missing a beat, he turned to me and said, hated. I asked, why would you say that? And he said, Jack, a person dies twice. Once when their heart stops beating, and once when someone speaks their name for the very last time. Now, I'm sure he's not the first person to say this, but it really resonated with me that day, and I've thought about it ever since. Now, obviously, I prefer not to be hated. I'd love to be remembered for making a psychological breakthrough or inspiring the masses with timeless films. And frankly, I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of regret. And I've never regretted anything I've ever done in my life. I've only regretted opportunities I missed or chances I didn't take. And I really, really want to have accomplished something that on my deathbed I can sit there and smile because I know in my heart that I'll have made an impact. Every point that I've made in this video so far comes down to one core message: the improvement, the impact, the potential. It all does have one meaning. We're filming this New Year's Eve 2016. It's December 31st. For us right now, if you were to go on any social media, news outlet, blog, magazine, whatever, you would definitely find a pattern. Everywhere you look, you'll see the same thing. 2016 was a terrible year. And although I'm hesitant to agree with the message, I'm not willing to subscribe to that defeatist mentality. Yeah, a lot of bad things happened in 2016. It wasn't the best year for me either. The country and the world have definitely seen better days. But what that doesn't mean is that it's over. I don't know how closely you've looked at history, but as a world, we have a rather undeniable tendency to change. I'm very familiar with that feeling of being overwhelmed and feeling trapped in the world and feeling like you can't make an impact. You're just one person, right? In a world where people seem more divided than ever, it's tough to put yourself out there and try to make a difference. Winston Churchill, one of my inspirations in life, famously said, "You have enemies? Good. That means you stood up for something sometime in your life." Don't let a fear of failure or irrelevance hold you back, because change almost never fails because it's too early. It almost always fails because it's too late. Be the difference you want to see in the world.